deeply involved in a church, and really came to a place where I felt like I had kind of lost touch with the people outside the doors. So the poem is called "I Stand by the Door." It was written by Samuel Shoemaker, who helped found Alcoholics Anonymous. And it's just all about that, about how we need to be just outside the door, helping people find the handle to get inside.
Even if it was that one or that two.
Yeah, exactly.
10,000's great.
Yeah.
But there's
even just one.
Even just one,
right.
I think. And how did that guide your book?
Totally. I
okay.
mean, it was so cool because when I met with him and he shared that poem with me, that was right where I was spiritually, so I knew it was a real God thing.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
It helped me a lot.
What, we've talked about a lot about how a lot of people have books, novels, whatever, that are kind of inside them. We have the desire or the dream to write.
Sure.
And I think I've realized it's a lot more than I even knew to start with.
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody who has that dream or that desire?
Well, a lot of people want to do it, and a lot of people do talk about it. The real key is you really need to shut the door and get busy, to tell you the truth. And you need to write really every day, even if it's just a little bit. If you wrote 350 words a day, you could have a book in a year. That's pretty good, and that would be a full-length novel. The other thing that I suggest to people is there's a book called The Writer's Market, and it has all the publishers in it and what they're looking for. And I suggest you start submitting. If you write magazine stories, it has all the magazine publishers in it, That's what I suggest.
Well, I think a lot of us need direction. We have the desire, we have the dream, we have the want to, but I think it's kind of like what you said, you actually have to do it.
Yeah, you do. And I've had to learn a lot about the craft of writing fiction. So you can also read books about writing fiction. There's a ton of good ones out there.
Well, let me ask you that. It's interesting. What about reading a book about fiction? What does that help you do in these books?
Well, see, you don't realize, but when you're reading good fiction, each chapter is from a certain character's point of view. That's something I just didn't realize.
I wondered about
yeah,
that. It's so funny. I was reading it and I'm like, because all of a sudden I switch and now I'm in so-and-so's vision. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And I wondered, that's so funny, because I wondered, how did he know to do that?
Well, see, and that's what you learn by reading about it. When you're in a character's point of view, it's as if you're behind a camera. You can see what's going on, you can feel what's happening to you, but you can't feel what's happening in someone else's emotions. So it's really, there's a lot to learn. I still have a ton to learn.
Yeah, well, and that might be true, but your books are definitely, they're really engaging, and it's what I call an easy read.
Great.
Which means I'm not sitting there like this, because that's not good for the wrinkles right there. But when you're trying to figure out, I don't get this, and trying to get through a lot of it, it's an easy read, and that, I think that's a good thing.
It is pretty light. There's a lot of books that have a ton of characters and storylines. Mine aren't like that. It's pretty fast.
Do you have a favorite book that you've written?
That I've written? No, I really honestly like all three for different reasons.
Yeah. I feel like that too. You asked me which one was my favorite, and I was like, Deer in the Headlights, because I liked all of them for different reasons. I think that so what speaks to you about each of them?
You mean each one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dark Star was special because I grew up as a rock and roll fan. I was not saved, and I was a big Kiss freak, and I went to a lot of shows and knew all about it. So I put myself in the first-person point of view of a millionaire rock star. And what would it be like to be a millionaire, a drug addict, and have all those fans following you? That was special for that reason. And then when that person turns over a new leaf, then that's the second book, Full Tilt. And that person still has a lot of temptations, a lot to learn about walking the Christian walk.
Yeah.
So that was special, and of course nobody was special just because we got to delve into really, in addition to reaching out to the homeless, it's more a book about what is God telling me to do with my life.
Yeah.
Not what man is telling me, not what the church is telling me, but what is God telling me that I need to be doing. So each special for their own.
I agree, and I think I mean I can see, especially with Nobody, what I loved about that, and I won't give it away. It's hard not to, but you know, the idea of sacrifice and being sacrificial, and really loving other people more than you love yourself. And that is a lesson that I mean, I chewed on, and I thought, whew. So I mean, I love it. I love the fact that there is Christian suspense out there, and it's keeping it clean for me and my girls when they get to read it,
Right.
And things like that. So how can people learn more about you and also order the books?
They can just go to my website. It's just my name, CrestonMapes.com.
Okay. And they can order books from there? Or,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, that'll take them to a couple places where they can get signed copies, or it'll take them directly to Amazon or
Okay.
several other ways. So yeah,
Okay.
that's the best way.
So, and speaking of signing copies, would you mind signing mine?
I'd be glad to.
I had Wayne sign, and I know he did not want to sign my book, but I appreciate that.
Oh, I like to sign.
It's kind of the perks of the job.
Yeah.
I love my job. So Creston Mapes, thank you so
You
much.
do a great job.
I appreciate it, and your books are awesome, and I'll be looking for the next one that comes out.
Okay, we'll see about that.
All right. Thank you so much. I really highly recommend these books to you as well, especially if you like suspense. It's an amazing way to keep your mind sharp and read, and I really highly recommend this. So thanks for watching. If you'd like to be a guest on our show, or you know someone who does, you can log on to our website at WTV-24.com and let us know you're interested. And remember, every time that you invest in or serve our community, you just might become the talk of the town. We'll see you next time.